Welcome everyone to season number 3 of Yosemite Valley, and welcome to a new beginning of the national park. We are here on the other side of our zoo where we're going to start a brand new entrance, and this is going to be a really weird episode in terms of building mountains and in building a new road and a little bit of a layout in general. And I want to mention, this is also going to be an episode which marks the start of a break of Yosemite Valley. Yes, I said it. You've seen the new intro. You've seen, hopefully, the new way how we started to go into here. You've seen season number 2, and now we are here on a fresh start, but it will then have a little break. But not because it's not going to be continued. Actually, because I gave it to someone else who is building kind of a little bit in this zoo before I get it back. I'm not going to mention who that is. You will obviously see that once it's there. So, yeah, it's going to be exciting. I've seen already some early pictures, and it's going to blow you away. It's really great. But also because I want to do something new for the summer, something a little bit different, something a bit more exciting. Not to say that this is not exciting, but it's going to be a bit more off the normal kind of shape that you would expect from Planet Zoo. So it's a little bit different, and I just wanted to have a bit of freedom doing that and not have the pressure that this project is left alone, untouched. And so I'm really happy that this person just offered me to jump in and do some stuff in here. I totally admire his stuff, and so yeah, it's gonna be very exciting to see how that comes off. But yeah, let's talk about what is going on in today's episode. Now, as I said at the beginning, we are talking about a lot of landscaping today, and there is a lot of thinking that went into this. So, as you know, the lighting in Planet Zoo is incredible, but there's one major I don't want to call it issue, but there's one major downside of the way the lighting works. The sun position is fairly low in this game. So these tall mountains, even though they look beautiful and they really have something totally new and something really realistic to them, they also cast an incredible amount of shade. And I kind of realized that the whole back part of the zoo would be in a shade if I left the overall mountain shape the way it is. So I decided to completely change it, to pull it all backwards, and we did this in a live stream, and it took me like actually 2 hours to really push the entire mountain back like a good few 50, 60, 70 meters, so that we have a lot more space in the valley actually, but also that the sunlight is really flowing nicely into the valley rather than just being blocked by this mountain face, and also to make the overall mountain a little bit more interesting to look at. So this is what we'll see. The first 50-60% of today's episode will be the landscaping. So in case you're a fan of clay work, or you're a fan of landscaping in general, or you're even like a gardenist or whatever, this is the stuff for you. If not, you can just skip via the little skip marks down below in the video to the next part of the video in case it's not your part. And actually in the end we will have a real-time part showing you around with the current status, because I'm not going to finish the build that I'm starting in this episode entirely. It's like 80% done, but I will tell you what my plans are for the future, and I will also give away what is the next project that is coming. So make sure to stick around until the end of today's video, because it's going to be exciting news, hopefully for you guys, because I thought about this a long time, and there is actually also a very specific reason why I'm doing this, which I'm going to talk about in the first episode. Not too sure if the first episode will drop this weekend though, because I might take some more time until it's really fleshed out and the quality I want it to be. But yeah, so that's going to be interesting. While you look at me flattening out the entire valley here a little bit. So what I did at the very beginning is I completely lowered the entire valley by, I think it was like in-game, like good 20-ish meters, to then be able to kind of make the mountains, seem to be taller than they really are, because I already thought about the lighting. But yeah, and I now wanted to have like a complete opposite to the other side, because the other side of the zoo is a bit more of a harsh edge. All the road and stuff everything is sitting on that crest, and it's all a little bit raised, and then you have the staircase going down in the valley. I wanted to have this a lot more subtle over here. I wanted to have this a bit more natural, organic, flowing in here. And so this is why this road comes into play. So this road is going to be a bit more of a mountain road, using some more turns here, being a bit more like of the lonely road going through the wilderness, and is connected by 2 tunnels to the left and to the right that you will see in a bit. Just to make sure that you have this full experience and the full immersion, because I don't want this immersion to be broken. So whenever you are in the zoo, no matter where you are, from the spawn point to every exhibit to the entrance or exit of the zoo, you should be in a full immersion, and I don't want anyone to see the borders of the map or even the flat landscapes that you have around the zoo. I always want to keep that fairly hilly, fairly mountainish, so that you really have this one feeling that you are actually in Yosemite Valley and this is a believable zoo in this area. So, that's kind of, and still seems to be very big and wide and open. That's what the whole target of my entire layout of the zoo was. And yeah, I also think that at some point it would be necessary to make an update of this as a starter map, but the problem is if I would rip everything out of the zoo, it somehow doesn't really work because of all the animals and stuff. So if I will do this, and if there's a need from you guys to really create that, I definitely would love to see that happening when I have some more time, because otherwise at the moment it's not feasible. I think it would take some good 2 to 3, maybe even 4 hours until I would be able to just accomplish that, just by putting all the animals back into their wonderful little trade centers where they are alone and not annoying me. But yeah, no, I'm just kidding. This would be something that takes time, but if you guys demand that, I will definitely think about this in the future, because the starter map that is available in the workshop of this zoo is obviously quite old, and most of these mountains haven't been done. I think including Half Dome and El Capitan, they haven't been done. So yeah, quite a lot that had to be changed. So I fully believe that this would be a way better starter map as of now, but maybe at the end I'm gonna also release this as an empty map. But you have to let me know in the comments down below if you would love to see that as an empty map in the workshop as well, because many people recently commented that they love the landscaping and this is so unique. And this makes me smile, because this is exactly what I wanted to achieve when I thought about what will be my big project for Planet Zoo, kind of following to Eastern Nepali. I really wanted to make sure that we are talking about something completely different, and something that is unique to other projects, and that is not like the go-to zoo you would expect to be done. Which was, to be fair, kind of funny. Let me just, while you see still the landscaping in the back, and you can see that I'm just kind of cheating a little bit with the tunnel here, just making a little bit more work with the landscaping rather than just making the tunnel anew. I just wanted to give a little insight on how sometimes thinking works and what kind of is the result then on YouTube effectively. And I found this pretty funny. I had a talk about this with Lady quite a long time before she was starting the city zoo. I think what everyone was expecting at the very beginning of Planet Zoo, that there will be a vast majority of people doing a city zoo, like a classical, I don't know, early 20th century city style old English architecture zoo, whatever, maybe Royal Garden, kind of like the Goodwin Zoo in the first scenario. But funny enough, I think everyone thought the same, and so no one did. And at the very beginning there was like no one doing a city zoo at all, and Lady basically is the first one who started an actual proper city zoo with that kind of classical layout and classical architectural style. So that was pretty funny to be seeing that, like, because I really thought everyone would do this, and so you naturally try to find something that is rather unique and something different. And yeah, Yosemite Valley always had a special place in my heart. If it wasn't for my honeymoon, where we unfortunately couldn't go there because I totally misjudged the distances in America. But that's another story. It's definitely for all the different pictures I see from friends that have been there, and it's just one of those areas I badly want to visit one time in my life. You know, hopefully when there is someone else in charge in the US and maybe there is not necessarily a pandemic going on. I mean, maybe I'm demanding too much here, but this would be kind of cool in terms of environmental influences. But yeah, just anyways, we are just now jumping into the second part of today's video. The landscaping is more or less done, and now what I'm doing is a little bit of a road layout here with 2 connected parking lots. In contrast to the other side, these 2 parking lots are meant to be a bit more natural and a bit more gently, let's call it gently built into the landscape rather than planted into it like it is on the other side. Just making sure that this kind of is a feasible thing to do. And then, yeah, I had this wonderful idea that I could maybe make this central yellow line that you do see in these roads quite often, that I could do this with this wonderful monorail, but appeared that the water ride I wanted to use is not like you cannot bend this downwards or upwards, which makes total sense. You can tilt that. I mean, this is kind of, you know, completely obvious, but I didn't think about that. And yeah, then I wanted to use the monorail track again, but it appeared also that the single track pieces are still too long to make it very accurate enough, and so I decided to use that only as these kind of guidance rails here that go alongside the mountain road, which you can see quite easily here. So yeah, I'm still quite happy with how this turned out in the end, because this is way easier than making this piece by piece. It looks better, I think, and it saves the piece count, so I think it's a win-win for everyone. I tried to make it look as organic and nice as possible, and then, yeah, obviously I threw in a whole bunch of different foliage and different things here to make this whole thing look quite nice. Anyhow, since now the next couple of minutes will be about this and also the new entrance building you've potentially seen on the thumbnail, I will now shut up for the next couple of minutes. I will leave you alone with the time lapse, and then I will definitely jump back in with the commentary in the real life section. Again, if you guys want to jump, you can just click now with the new wonderful timestamp option in YouTube. You don't even need to go to the comments. You can just hover above the YouTube little play bar down there, and then you can just jump to the part in the video that you want. You can see the name also put down there. So in case you haven't noticed that yet, I will try to bring this in most of my videos, so it's easier for you guys to just skip through and just watch the video. And yeah, so in case this is stuff for you, make sure to jump there. If not, enjoy the next couple of minutes of time lapse. Hey everyone, here we are in the live part as promised, and yeah, this is the look at what I've created here. Actually, we should also change the time of day to make this into daylight later. Anyways, this is the new focus point where you are getting into Yosemite Valley from that other entrance. And so yeah, this is the tunnel. I will eventually make this look a bit nicer from the inside at the end, but you know, for now you come out here and you have this road. We still do need to make these yellow lines on the ground. It might be a little bit steep here and there, but I just checked some images. Actually, in these kind of mountain roads, they are sometimes quite, hilly, and also they're not like perfectly flat. So I think we can get away with this. But yeah, so if we move down a little bit, you can see I stole the sign from the other side so that we do have some consistency throughout that overall area here. So we have the Yosemite Valley sign. You pass that one, and on the right-hand side there is the parking lot. It still all needs a little bit of detail work. We do need to do a little curbing down here. I need another fencing, but you know, for the moment I just wanted to do this as a bit of a broader layout. And then you come down here and you have a little bit, this will be a nightmare to make the street signs and the floor painting. That will be an absolute nightmare. But yeah, so we have a little parking lot on the left hand side, and we do have the entrance to another parking lot on the right hand side. It's gonna be quite a tight turn over here, so as I said, there will be quite a lot of work to do this kind of floor painting. This will be quite interesting. But yeah, so you come over here, the road continues, and then I will have to check how we exactly do this. Maybe I'm gonna redo this entirely and build a bridge. I think a bridge might make more sense to me, because this road might be more like an ongoing road, and you don't want to have this like really catching in here, because that will be, you know, people and cars will need to stop. I think more realistically it would make more sense to build a bridge here, but for the moment this is just the connection, so I could plan and test some guests coming in if they take the road or not. But yeah, eventually I'm gonna make like a little bridge here, and then you come to this building, and that one is, oh god, it took longer than it looks in the time lapse, but it took a long time to make it look that simple, and yet still, hopefully, as I think it does fit, but I wanted to make it a lot more generic, a lot more national park vibe, and just simple and old, you know, not like fancy, shiny, or like super heavily detailed or whatever, just like a believable national park entrance. I think this is what it is. There's still some detail lacking around here, some plants that need to go in, but I think for the overall setup, this is exactly what I wanted to get in with, and I think the overall environment is just the star of the show, and this is what I want to achieve here. I don't want you to look at the entrance. I do want you to stay here and look at the nature around. I want you to witness the incredible beauty of Yosemite Valley. You know, just look at the skyline, look at the mountains, look at the foliage, and just be excited to what is coming next. And you should not be disturbed by the entrance. And this is why I wanted to make it as less prominent as possible, and still make this look somewhat believable. So I used all these temple stones over here to create this bit of a broken down stone pattern, almost looking like a little bit like a brick kind of building style, and having some of the darker timber to hold this together. We have a pretty simple wooden roof, not making too much of a crazy custom roof. I think it's not necessary. You can do it. It will eventually look good, but this roof just fits perfectly. Like it is exactly what you need. It's kind of boring, it's kind of generic, but for this build it's exactly what we need. I think the biggest detail we have are the window shutters over here, because I really felt like they needed. This is obviously like a fake building in the middle, and it does have to be like there is still work on the backside. It's not yet done. But yeah, the cool bit is, as I said, someone else is working now on it. We talked a lot about what is going on and what's going to happen here, and now I'm as excited, hopefully, as you are. But yeah, this is the area how it looks right now. I really do hope you guys like this. Please let me know in the comments down below what you think about this idea, and also let me just quickly show you. This goes down all the way up here, so the road just kind of crawls up the hill. You can see to the right, oops, that was a little bit too quick, to the right hand side, and then it just kind of meanders into the next tunnel that you will find over here. So yeah, the left hand side is not yet done. There is still the need of a little curb. I need to make this overall open field a little bit more overgrown, and just in general a little bit more different. So yeah, that's been it, guys, and I really do hope you appreciate this episode. I certainly did enjoy this a lot. Now setting the scene for season number 3, and as promised at the beginning of this episode, here's a very brief overview of what's going to happen. Now, as this is set, I will definitely invest a little bit more time to make this area look a bit more overgrown even. So I really want to make this as natural as possible, so that if you are down here, you know, in that valley, so this is the valley, if you look, it doesn't matter where you look, it should definitely seem like a very nice mountainous area. So I will definitely change this area quite a bit. Now, the problem about this, we talked about this quite often, is definitely the sun position. So if you turn that to the evening, it looks not as bad as it looked before. But then if you turn around, you have this, well, it's not that bad of a thing over here now. So yeah, you always gotta find the right time of day to make sure that this looks nice. I kind of found like 1:30 is somewhat the time which is the best, the most pleasing for this overall area. But yeah, so this is what happens in this entrance area. Then someone else, as I said, is building in this area, and there is a line drawn over here. This line has a certain reason, and that's what's happening next. So we are then going to start with Africa. We're going to kind of call it Deep in Africa, and my sense is that this is going to be the most themed area of whole Yosemite. While everything else is kind of sticking to the theme of Yosemite Valley, this is going to be the most themed one, even though I can already tell you it's going to be very much, very slightly themed. But it's going to start with a modern-nest elephant house. So I decided against making a whole savanna. I'm definitely going to make like a bit more of a focus on the elephants, and we will have a focus on the giraffes. They will get their own habitats, and then we will have the zebras mixed up with some other savanna animals from Africa, so that all over this will be the whole Africa area. And I will do some other cool stuff. I will move potentially some other animals. I was thinking of moving the cheetahs and do something else in here, but there's something I'm going to think. The chimpanzees will definitely move. I will do something else about this. So yeah, there's gonna be some cool surprises for you guys. So this will be very cool. But now, for those of you who managed to stick with me through the entire episode, you get this little treat as promised. Now, the new project, which will continue for the next couple of weeks while this park is being worked on by someone else or by me in the background, who knows, I will definitely build a new project which is called Summer Lake Zoo. And Summer Lake Zoo is going to be a lake-styled layout, which has kind of a little bit of an inspiration from something I really do admire a lot. I'm not going to talk about this because I will definitely hold that back for episode number 1. And it's gonna be very interesting, because the focus will be, and this is, I can already give that away, it's gonna be completely themed to the max. It's gonna be Paradiser Plus, okay? So really trying to peak that level of theming, go into a, as if Disney would build another zoo. That's kind of the way I wanted to do it. And yeah, this will be very interesting, but the whole theme of it will not yet be named. But yeah, you will see, and this will be hopefully very exciting. I really do hope you guys are looking forward to it, and I really do need you again, as always, to kick that off and have you all, make that a little bit, go the hype, get this episode 1 vibe, and then, it can be a really cool little summer project. Because again, I just want to kind of try to lose myself a little bit from, or just kind of release myself from some pressure of potentially waiting for a DLC or whatever. So just kind of bringing in something new myself. So I really do hope you enjoyed today's episode. As always, let me know by liking the video if you did enjoy. And yeah, if you're new here, or if you are a constant viewer and haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. Again, as always, that helps the channel a lot, and I really do hope you guys enjoy. So I do hope I see you in the next one. Until then, have a great time, stay safe everyone, and goodbye.